What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So this is something that I first heard about, yesterday afternoon into yesterday evening, and saw a couple more videos about it this morning, and I've gotten the gist of it, but still trying to learn more about the origins of this thing. And what's going on right now. So, from what I've gotten, it seems as if though there is this submarine. I don't know if that's even the right term to use, but a submarine that was built is almost sort of like an underground tour bus. What would you call it? A tour sub, and it has 5 passengers in there. I think they were on there to look at the wreckage of the Titanic, and apparently they are lost. They have lost, and maybe they lost control of the sub. Anyway, they're lost, and time is running out. They are thousands and thousands of feet below the surface, and last I saw, they only have 20 hours of air left, and this is a very, very dangerous situation for them because of the limited ways in which you could extract the sub, because they're so far down. You don't want to damage the sub. It just seems like a very effed up situation. So I'm forced to look at Wikipedia, which I don't really usually use that much because Wikipedia can be faulty. But I'm trying to find a backstory. And most of the articles I'm looking at, there's not a real good backstory. So tell me if this is accurate or not. So apparently, on the 18th of June, the submersible Titan, operated by Ocean Gate Expeditions, went missing in the North Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada. The submersible was on a tourist expedition to view the wreck of the Titanic, with 5 people on board. Communication was lost with the submersible 1 hour and 45 minutes into its dive to the wreck site, and authorities were notified when it did not resurface at its scheduled time later that day. The craft's 4-day breathable air supply is expected to be exhausted on the morning of June 22nd, 2023. So here we are on June 21st, now in the afternoon hours. So this is why this is a very precarious situation for those who are on board. Concerns about the safety of the vehicle had previously been raised. Search and rescue efforts are being led by the United States Coast Guard, United States Navy, and Canadian Coast Guard. From right now, from what I've read, there were banging sounds heard being picked up by sonar, and that they are narrowing down the area in which they believe the banging sounds came from. But now it's, of course, a race against time. And those who are familiar with the inside of the sub are basically saying that they're in a small, confined area. Being that low beneath the surface is probably freezing, so it's probably hard on the bodies of the people who are down there, harsh on the body. And I don't know anything about food supply. I don't know whether or not there's water or food. I'm assuming that there's some food down there, but I don't know. And it's just looking like a terrible situation. I think I see different measurements as far as how far beneath the surface they are. I've heard some people say they're like 6,000 feet below the surface. Then I've seen somebody that said that they're 30,000, which doesn't sound right to me, because I would think if you're that far down, that's the type of pressure that can blow your eye sockets. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't think they're that far down there. But 6, 7, 8,000 feet, I guess. How do you extract the sub? How do you extract it? That's really fucking. That's more than a mile down. How do you, you know, there's very difficult. There's a lot of difficulties in this situation, but I'm hoping that they can find something, man, because that's just a horrible, horrible way to die, man. And then, when you look at the situation that's involved in this, right? All the situation. Wouldn't you think that there have been a better plan than this? If there were already safety issues that have been brought up for years about this, don't you think that they would have had more stringent, a more stringent contingency plan in place? In the event that something like this happened, maybe a Morse code thing, or I don't know how. Well, I guess if you're down that far, signals wouldn't work really well. I was thinking like some type of remote type thing, but that wouldn't probably work. But still, man, with all the technology that we supposedly have, you could detect a fucking sand spider farting and fucking in Iraq and shit, but you can't come up with something better than this. I mean, it's just whatever, man. It's just stupid to me, man. But anyway, man, you guys tell me, because like I said, I'm just starting to read about this situation, and I'm not totally in the know about everything. And of course, I'm no submarine expert or submersible expert, so I don't know about everything involving this. I don't know why sometimes some people think I'm a know-it-all. I'm a know-all, see all everything. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of things I'm not an expert in. I don't know too much about this type of stuff, but I do know that if you're going to proceed with something like this, I mean, you are going to view the Titanic. So that should be a reminder that everything doesn't always go according to plan when it comes to man, his inventions, and the sea. So I don't know. It just sort of reminds me a little bit of, even though that was an even bigger, that was an instant disaster, but it reminds me of the whole the Space Challenger thing in '86, when they had been warning for months that there were structural problems with the Challenger that they completely ignored. They ignored the warnings, went through with it, and lives were lost for no apparent real reason, because it could have been prevented. But anyway, tell me what you guys think.